All right, in a bizarre story, very bizarre, the New Mexico State basketball program has indefinitely suspended their program after multiple reports of hazing on the team. This following an incident where one of the players allegedly was involved in a fatal shooting in which the coaching staff tried to cover it up. Wow. Sticks.
Something crazy.
This
Yeah,
story is crazy. I mean, crazy. What's
it's
your take on the
crazy.
situation?
So I'm gonna let D'Lo get into the part about the coaches covering up because I honestly didn't know that. I didn't see that in my research. I didn't know they tried to
Yeah.
cover it. I know they was being real vague with the investigation with what was going on, but I didn't know they was trying to cover it up.
So they
But
tried to, from what I heard, they tried to get rid of or hide the weapon. Not get rid of it, but hide it. And like you said, then also in turn be vague with the questions or allowing the players to answer
mhm,
questions. So yeah.
mhm. Yeah, so this whole situation started. The context is between two universities, New Mexico State University and University of New Mexico.
Hmm.
So this whole situation started at a football game where Mike Peake, which is one of the basketball players, a junior basketball player at the time for New Mexico State, and a gentleman named Brandon Travis. They were both at the football game, and they after the New Mexico State beat New Mexico State beat University of New Mexico in the football game, and then a fight broke out on the field after the game was over. Brandon Travis and Mike Peake got into a scuffle, and Mike Peake got the best of Buddy. So it's not a laughing matter, but that's just my personality. I'm sorry if I
Yeah,
come
yeah.
off as messed up. But Mike Pete got the best of Buddy, and Buddy didn't want to let that go. So all of a sudden, Mike Pete starts talking to this young lady online, young lady named Maya, and they make plans to meet up with each other around the time that New Mexico State plays New Mexico in basketball because they had to come to University of New Mexico, and they was they was going to link up, and y'all know what link up mean. So
Hmm.
the basketball team they stayed at the hotel. Basketball team has a midnight curfew. Assistant coaches go check all the rooms. All the
That's
kids
wild.
is in there. You see what I'm
That's
saying?
wild, bro.
The coaches go check
Midnight?
all the rooms. Midnight. Yeah, midnight is crazy. But I don't know what was y'all curfew because our
Our
curfew was earlier than that.
Yeah, bro, our curfew was light. Like, first off, we could not leave. We cannot leave the team hotel.
We couldn't leave the
Secondly,
hotel at all, bro.
we had to be in our room most nights by 8:30.
Ours was 9. And
Yeah,
they said
so
they tried to say lights out at 11, but nigga, we grown as hell.
yeah,
Like
we're
I'm not
grown as hell. How you gonna tell me?
I'm
You got
not
to
going
be
to
in
sleep at
your
11
room.
o'clock.
Yeah, you had to be in
Mhm.
your room by 8:30.
We had to be in
It
our
might have
room by
been 9. It's a while ago. Shit skips my memory, but
but that's the even crazier part is that we was in school '03 to '07.
yeah,
This is 2022, and they got a midnight curfew with
they
all the bullshit that's going on these days.
yeah, trying to get leniency and all that stuff, man.
Yeah,
It's
facts. Yeah, that
different
was
times we
damn.
live
That
in.
was 20 years ago, dude.
Yeah, yeah. We said that
That is
before, man. Stop dating us, bro.
oh, my bad. Okay, but
Back to the shit,
so
man. My fault.
back to it. But they had a midnight curfew. All the assistant coaches came, checked all the rooms. All the kids was in there. Around about 1:30 in the morning is when Mike Peake peeled. He left the hotel, got an Uber to go meet up with the young lady
Mhm.
at the University of New Mexico. They had cameras all over the dorms, but he was seen walking outside one of the dorms with the young lady whenever 3 guys approached him. And did you catch their names?
Mm-mm.
So it was Brandon Travis, a gentleman named Jonathan Smith,
Mhm.
and another gentleman named Elijah Upshaw.
Okay.
Elijah
I didn't
Upshaw.
get into that.
So I got into the
Yeah, yeah,
nitty gritty.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Go
So
ahead.
Elijah Upshaw runs up on Mike Peake, the basketball player, and hits him with a bat.
Mm.
Mike Peake is trying to get away. Brandon Travis pulls out the blicky and
Mhm.
fires off a couple of times at Mike Peake, hitting him in the leg. He
Mhm.
ain't know Mike Peake was also strapped.
Mhm.
Mike Peake turns around and fires back 4 times. Pow, 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 pow. Hits him all 4 times.
You sound like Soldier Boy.
Pow, pow, pow,
This is not funny, man. It's not
It's
funny,
not.
but it's just
It's
the
not.
way you're
It's not.
telling this story.
Hit him all 4 times. He hit him twice in the chest, once in the groin, and another time in the arm.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, the two shots to the chest were fatal shots. They're trying to the problem that I have with the situation is, number one, the him leaving after curfew and being irresponsible, number one. But number two,
Hmm.
they're trying to paint Mike Peake as a killer when he's actually, to me, in my eyes, he was actually the victim. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? This was a kid that got into a fight with Mr. Travis, God rest his soul, at a football game months before.
Hmm.
Bruh couldn't let it go. He tried to set Buddy up, and it ended up, in his demise, which is unfortunate. And the media over the past, because this happened last year in November,
Hmm.
and the media over the past 5 months have now been trying to paint Mike Peake as this villain when he responsible 100%. He should have never.
Irresponsible.
Super irresponsible. He was dumb irresponsible. He should have never even had the if, in hindsight, if he wasn't irresponsible, he wouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. But if he didn't have a gun with him, he you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there's so many ways you can look at this, but it's like, why are you painting Mike as the villain when he was the one that was really, they were really out to get him? But what you think,
Yeah.
bro? What you got
So
going on?
in regard to what you just said, because like I said, I didn't even look at this part. I knew it played a role in why the AD or the athletic director and the president of the university said that the program needed to just reset in general, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
go into depth with this. I just knew that I knew the person that was involved from the program, and I
Mm-hmm.
knew that something had happened at a football game prior to it.
Mm-hmm.
But in regard to that, I would say old buddy's awareness might peak. His awareness was very low. And,
Very, very
and
low. I agree.
and he was being irresponsible because just me in general, and I think a lot of people that I know and love and hang around would probably
Mm-hmm.
be the same way. But again, we are older as well, so maybe hindsight 2020, go back to
Mm-hmm.
when we were 19, 20, 21, maybe we would have did the same thing. But if you have gotten into a fight at a particular in a particular area, you know, because I think now this is what I think I do remember. You know that the dude what couldn't let it go. Y'all have been talking back and forth on Instagram for since that time, or at least that's what has been said.
Mm-hmm.
Why you gonna put yourself in a situation to where just for a little piece of the triangle, you gonna leave your room in the same place that you got into a fight to? Spidey sense has got to be
Well,
going
no.
off.
So the fight happened at New Mexico State. The
No, I
basketball
saw.
game was in Albuquerque. It was
Uh,
the football game was at New Mexico State. The football game was at New Mexico State. The basketball game was at New Mexico.
you sure? I
So
thought it was
yeah, the
at
fight
New
the fight the
Mexico.
fight and the shooting didn't happen at the same place.
Okay, so maybe that's what it's
Yeah,
still though.
yeah,
If you fighting with did he knew the cat went to New Mexico though?
yeah. He knew the cat went to New
All right,
Mexico.
so
Yeah,
yeah, I mean
awareness
I
is
I
dumb
mean
low. Yeah,
I'm not saying he should fear for his life at all times when he's in that area. That's not what I'm saying, but
right.
you got to understand like we live in a different time. Cats
Mm-hmm.
just be doing reckless dumb stuff just because it don't matter. It don't matter. Like life is not precious. I said this before. Life is just not precious to this generation. They do not care about your life whatsoever. So any
They
type of
don't, bro.
situation that is sets them off or they don't agree with or embarrasses them, whatever the case is, they ready to take your life or at least try to. And
At least try to.
unfortunately for the person that tried to take Mike Peake's life, his life got taken. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, oh boy, Mike Pete got to be more aware of the situation
For
than
sure.
what he showed, and it's all because of what the triangle. It's
The
undefeated, bro.
triangle.
It's
I tell you,
undefeated,
boy.
and if you know what a
I'm telling you.
triangle is, y'all know what I'm talking about.
I would
Um,
say it, but I think D-Lo might.
yeah, yeah. Just leave it alone, bro.
I'm gonna leave it alone. But
You
nah,
left a lot of strays today already.
I
You normally save it to
but
the
nah,
end.
that last top. But either way,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
but nah, he definitely the irresponsible, because me, I I've had a lot of experiences in the past, but I've never done anything while I was with my team though. Like I've never
Right,
left a team hotel. I was because my focus was football or basketball. Like,
right,
man, I ain't worried about. I can holler at Shorty after the game type. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah, we'll kick it after the
You
game,
come
but I'm
to
not
my
coming to
spot,
kick it with you. Or you can come to my spot, or just prime
or maybe
example,
not.
Coach Prime, whenever he was talking to his team, was like, y'all ain't leaving this motherfucker. If they want to see you, they gonna come see you at this hotel. You know what
Right,
I'm saying? So they should have said he should have did something like that.
right.
I mean, worst case scenario, sneak Shorty in, but even
Yep.
that's irresponsible. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what
He
I'm
could
saying.
go
That's
down
why I
to
said,
the
or maybe
yeah,
not. Yeah.
or,
I
but
mean,
just don't even worry about it at all. You know what I'm saying?
it-
Like, hey, I'll kick it with you. Or you can come to Las Cruces. You can come to New Mexico State if you want to. But I'm not, bro. You got a homie. I got an old boy out here. He don't really fuck with me. I don't know where he gonna be at all times. Whatever. Like, you just got to be more self aware. You got to be aware of your
yeah,
surroundings. Like you said, don't be fearful. Don't fear for your life all the time. But at the same time, know your surroundings. Know your environment. Know that you at a place where you beat Buddy up and he might be trying to get back, run the ones one more time.
right.
But nah, I wouldn't have did it. I mean,
Yeah,
it ain't that serious to us, but this generation might be is a little bit different. So
100%. But then, so after that, you have the hazing portion of why they indefinitely suspended the program, and
talk about it.
this is crazy. I mean, it's crazy because the degree of hazing that went on. As you and I know, as all of those individuals that have been a part of fraternities, sororities, athletics, whatever, there's some
Football,
element of
basketball, yeah.
there's some element of hazing that goes on. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and whether we like to realize it or not, all of us that have been employed have been hazed to a degree as
To a
well.
degree.
You don't even really think of it. 90-day probation is a form of hazing, and the
One
reason
hundred
it
percent.
is because you're not held to the same regard as employees that have been employed by that company past 90 days. So any
Mm-hmm.
little thing that you do in those 90 days where it's asking for time off, which you typically can't do, or whatever the
Right.
case may be, they can take away your employment. So that's a form of hazing. Um, but anyway, so hazing has gone on or does apply or
Exist.
occur,
Mm-hmm.
exist in all throughout America, whether we like to
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not. Um, and I'm sure everybody's heard of the professional hazing that rookies do nowadays, where they either pay
Mm-hmm.
for their teammates' meal or they have to carry some object, whether it's their bags, pads in football, whatever the case is. That's hazing there.
They be running them
So
bills up too. They be running them bills up. But them dinners, boy,
yeah, man,
hundred
they
thousand
be,
dollar dinners.
you know
That's
what I'm
crazy
saying?
hazing right there, bro.
Crazy.
Wow. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I mean, I can see where hazing has its place. Where individuals are trying to join a group of people because you want to make sure that the person earns their due in your
Mm-hmm.
organization. You want to make sure that they show some form of loyalty. But in this case, this shit is very extreme. You had false
Extreme.
imprisonment, criminal sexual contact. I think in a report, the unnamed person came to yeah. So in the report, the person came to the campus police and reported that he had been hazed since the previous summer. And in the report, he said that three individuals held him down, and he wasn't the only one. Three individuals held him down, stripped him of his clothes, and inappropriately touched him. And oftentimes, this was done in front of the whole team. So to me, that is prison culture, one
Hundred
hundred
percent.
percent
Hundred
prison
percent.
culture. Like you stripping people and inappropriately touching them, and so the first thing that comes to my mind when you say inappropriately touching after you hold them down face down, stripping them of their clothes is trying to put something, you know.
Mm-hmm. You in
That's the
you
first
in the
thing.
private regions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the first thing that comes to me. And so the kid, all these people were unnamed, but the kid said he wasn't the only one.
Mm.
So like it's just,
Right.
I mean, I don't know where to go with the rest of it, and I can. I can see 100% why the AD and the president was like, nah, you had this dude involved in something else off campus. You have all of this hazing going on campus. Nah,
They don't
we
have no
need
control of this organization.
there's no control of this program
There's no
whatsoever.
control.
Let's restart.
You got to restart because I knew I heard the reports of the hazing. I just didn't know to the extent, and that is crazy. So now you got they New Mexico State didn't deserve a basketball program at all
Hmm.
because the AD, the coaching staff, the players within the program didn't know how to control themselves.
Hmm.
And like you said, I get it. It's been whenever I first got to Central, it wasn't nowhere close to that extreme, but I had to. It was like three senior wide receivers on the team, and I had to carry all day pads and you know what I'm saying to the bus, and I'm
Right.
lugging this heavy, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
that kind of hazing, like small shit like that, but it
Yep.
won't never nothing to the extent of being stripped butt naked and being touched inappropriately.
Yeah.
We got to run the ones, bro. Like I
Right.
don't,
100%.
I don't give a damn about this organization. We fighting, my G.
Right.
Like there's no way that you gonna get away with you putting something somewhere that ain't entering something in the exit, and we ain't gonna fight.
Or even just touching me in any type of way that makes me, or makes me think differently of you
Yeah,
or myself.
facts,
So
facts.
yeah, nah. We can't do that.
We can't do
That
that.
ain't gonna fly.
That
And
ain't
not
gonna
to
fly.
the extent of the first situation that happened at New Mexico State, where I feel like I gotta carry a gun, let you know what's up. But I mean, it's gonna be some type of, it's definitely gonna be some type of conversation had. And like I've said before, I'm not confrontational, but don't try me like that.
Nah, facts. Yeah, I ain't no what Pac say. I ain't no killer, but
Yeah,
don't
but don't
push me.
push me. You know what I'm saying?
Don't push me
100%.
because that's something that will push me to thoroughly defend myself,
100%.
for lack of better of a phrase, without saying too much. You do something like that, I got to defend myself. But getting back to the whole situation about Mike Peake, so the two, of course, unfortunately, old buddy lost his life, but the other two guys and the young lady have been charged with conspiracy and let me go back and find it so that way I ain't saying the wrong things. But they have both been charged. The young lady was under 18 at the time it happened, so she was put in juvie.
Mm.
She was 17 years old. Mike Peake at the time
She
was
was in
23.
college.
She was in college. She was a freshman in
Okay.
college.
Okay.
She hadn't yet turned 18.
Yeah.
So in opposed to, but the thing that I don't like is that the young lady was charged, but she was put in juvie.
Hmm.
If that was a 17-year-old man,
100%. He going to
he'd
jail.
have been put in prison.
Yeah, they're gonna try him as an adult.
They're gonna try him as a full. She was charged with conspiracy and aggravated assault. They took her to juvie. I'm
Hmm.
like, bruh. So she probably got slapped on the wrist. She probably back in school at this point. You know what I'm saying?
I
No
don't want to
something.
say something to make you
Gonna
mad,
say, what's
but
up?
it's gonna tie into the last segment. That perception, bro.
That is perception. With her being sent to juvie, that's what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, because they're gonna say she was not the brains of the operation. She just played a role,
True,
and
true,
because
true.
she's a woman, she doesn't need to be charged as
As strictly as the men.
exactly.
But see, but I'm gonna go just tie back to the last segment too. I also think that's stupid.
Exactly, but
I
that's
also think
not
it's
the
dumb.
reality we live in. Is what I'm saying
I
to
feel
you.
you. I feel you. I feel you. So, but but the whole time, and did you? I know you did your research. You saw the part where they said that they were putting it was three people. It looked like a coach and two players along with Mike Peake. They were trying to hide the gun in the trunk of a yellow Camaro and trying to discard of it.
Wait, you said earlier that you didn't know anything about that.
No, I didn't know about. Well, okay,
You said the coaches, and yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Well, yeah, okay. So I did see that. I thought it was more than just
No,
that
no,
part.
no. That was a
Okay.
part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, they were, but because so whenever I was researching, I was like, well, he did take a Uber, and maybe the Uber was a yellow Camaro, but nah,
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
was one of the coach's whips. That yellow
Mhm.
Camaro was one of the coaches' whips, and they were trying to make sure that strap was discarded of.
Yeah,
So
because
it's like,
one, it's similar to, well, I'm not gonna bring that situation up again, but
but it is
he
though.
has
It is though.
he has the he has the weapon on him on a team bus
Mhm.
traveling to another location, and
Mhm.
then he has it in the hotel. He has it with him when, so I mean, that's just having it alone can be enough to
Problematic.
yeah, it could be enough to hurt his case in the future.
Facts. And then having it, like you said, having it travel with you to another location is semblance of what we talk about with Cha.
Mhm,
Having to travel with you, and then you taking it with you, leaving, being irresponsible, leaving at the curfew, going to try to get some of that triangle, and then
mhm,
you end up doing something stupid. It all comes down to the lack of responsibility and the lack
mhm,
of self awareness. Like,
mhm.
bro, you. This is a business trip. Why are you, number one? Why are you bringing the strap with you? And then number two, why are you leaving the team hotel to go do anything? Why are you leaving in the first place? You
I
shouldn't
mean,
be
this
leaving. You should be in your room, kicking it with your teammates, and relaxing before the game the next day. Why?
yeah.
It's just
So it's easy to say why you have this, why you have that, but I mean, obviously he did have it and it did save his life, but um
this. What I need to tell him. Hey, you dropped this. Damn dummy.
yeah, so I mean, he had it, it saved his life, but it's just the whole awareness
Mm-hmm.
of the situation of where he is. Um, because I'm sure there was some telltale sign that old boy was trying to get his get back. Now to the extent that he was trying to have his get back, who knows? But I'm sure there
Right.
was some sign to Mike Pete, his teammates, whatever, that old boy was trying to get his get back. I think, but I don't want to go too much into this as far as Mike Pete in that situation. The
Yeah.
program itself has to, and not to cut that off for you. If
No,
you
you
want
good.
to talk about, it, we could keep talking about it. But
Nah, we good.
um, the program in itself, they got a long way to go to get back to. Last year, they had a first round upset in the NCAA tournament. Now there is
Mm-hmm.
no program,
Now there is
so
no
so
program.
they go from having a somewhat successful season to having
Mm-hmm.
maybe a felon on their team, and then a team full of hazers that just dismantled the culture
On some weird, yeah, facts.
of New Mexico State basketball. And so the AD and the president have a big job ahead of them to hire the right
Indeed,
person to lead them into the future.
they do, and they definitely have a lot of a. They have a brand to rebuild
Mm,
because that the brand of that university right now, not the university, but the basketball program at this point is non-existent at this point. Number one,
mhm,
because they don't have a program anymore, but moving forward, whenever they do reinstate the program, they have to do a damn good job to change the perception
mhm,
of this program. So hopefully going forward, man. I mean, I kind of feel for Mike Peake a little bit because yes, he was dumb. Yes, he was irresponsible. Yes, his self awareness was lacking in that moment.
mhm.
Thank God he had the gun on him,
Right.
but he should have never been in that situation to begin with. And that's
Yeah.
where the self awareness and the responsibility comes into it. But I don't know, man. It's so complex. There's so many moving parts to this thing, man. That you know they got to figure something out over there in New Mexico State for sure.
100%.
100%. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you've gotten this far, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content. Also, you can find us on all your streaming platforms wherever you find your podcast.